Do I look weird? Oh, trying a new hair. A European.
New peasant style.
Okay, anyway, yeah, today's topic, I'm curious because, well, let's rewind. Today's topic is whether extracurricular activities are beneficial when you're young.
Clarifying questions. 1. When? Middle school, high school, or elementary school?
Starting in elementary school and maybe middle school.
Clarifying question number 2. Give me an example of extracurricular activities.
So, like, any supplemental courses, like math, science, language.
Sports?
Yeah, sports, music related.
I would say yes. These days, I think it's almost essential.
Yes to all of them, or only like specific ones?
Probably I'm being classic Korean mindset, but for the kids' career, I think it's almost necessary these days. At least a couple of sports and music, instruments.
So I guess like a follow-up question is like if you had the choice back then, go back time and do it all over, and you had a say in what classes you want to take after school, A, would you do it? And B, like what are the classes you would want to take?
A, yes. B, probably some musical instrument because like school coursework, yeah, I was doing pretty okay. I didn't really have to catch up things separately. Actually, I went to cram school as almost all Korean students did.
Could you explain what cram school is to those who are not familiar?
Yeah, cram school is just outside of school education, which is hagwon in Korean. You learn exactly same things that you learn from the school, but more in depth and in advance.
Is that in preparation for college exams?
Yes, Korean version of SAT and also your midterm and final because you have to get good grade in high school so you can go to better college. So it's a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a little social problems in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, so think about it. You know, you have a kid and you know every other kids are going to cram school and learning mathematics, English, history, everything that you learn from the school in advance. So it's really hard for you not to send your kid to the cram school because it feels like you're making your kid fall behind. Yeah, so it could be just a whole different topic, but to cut to the chase, my take is why Koreans do that is because we don't have really natural resources like oil, steel, people skills or talents is the only resources that Korea can sell. That's almost the only way you can be successful. That's why almost all Koreans are so like obsessed with like higher education. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate from Koreans' perspective, but you can't help. So cram school, I did, but if I grew up in the States, I wouldn't do it. But definitely, whether in Korea or in United States, I would let my kid or myself in the past do some sports or musical instruments.
I guess from my experience, I didn't really attend cram school where, in my mind, my impression of cram school is that you're pretty much covering all topics. It's like a night school that you do on top of your day school, right?
Exactly.
You have assignments coming from your day school and your night school.
Right.
And so that's like, in my Western perspective,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
It is a lot.
responsibility and pressure for a kid, especially in like middle school, right? That's when you did cram school, I assume? Or
Middle school and high school.
yeah, so that's like a lot of study. And I totally understand. It's like once you enter school, you're in this race against so many other peers with the same goal in mind to get into a good college that leads into securing a good job, right? And yeah, it's like a lot of pressure. And I would say the amount of job opportunities in the US when we were in school is more abundant or more options in the US versus in Korea, I guess, right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, there wasn't like a whole stress in choosing just one field that people would think it's like once you get into it, you are successful and everything. I think in the US, yeah, people really value individualism and like if you are set and like you're interested in a certain thing, then people tend to encourage you to do it, regardless of like how much you would make out of it.
If you say in Korea, I want to become artist, 99.9% people's reaction will be,
Can you
artist?
sustain?
Yeah, how can you make
survive?
living?
Yeah.
I think that all comes down to the natural resources
Yeah.
and to how wealthy the country is.
Mm.
The other day we talked about the cash flow. If people earn more money and spend more money, that means more cash flow in the country. And then, so more cash flow in the country, the more tax that the country collects,
That
right?
could be used towards building the city's infrastructure.
Exactly, and a lot of musical or artistic things, so they can sustain artist community as well.
Mm.
But it's hard to do that way in Korea compared to the States. That's situational difference between the two countries. And from that context, in the United States, I want my kids to explore different career opportunities. And to do that, I think having them experience piano or violin or playing basketball or any kind of sport she or he is interested in is a really good way to find out or navigate her or his interest or field.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think, so for me growing up, my parents did enroll me in a lot of different activities, but it's not really with the intent of me pursuing a career out of any of them. So I started taking lessons in swimming. I don't think my parents were hoping that I'd become a professional swimmer by the end of it. But I think every course or club that they enrolled me in, they had some type of benefit in my learning development. So for example, swimming was like more like being active, right? So I'm not just stuck at home doing homework. They wanted me to be active in some type of activity, right? I took piano lessons when I was younger, like in elementary school. And I think it's more of, I don't know, my parents romanticizing having like a kid, like one of their kids learning how to play an instrument. And piano seems to be like that elegant.
Right?
So I got piano lessons.
Did you like it?
I mean, anything that you were kind of forced to attend and do, you as a kid, you tend to get tired of it really quickly. In retrospect, I think I do appreciate them kind of signing me up and like buying me a piano to practice. My regret is not practicing enough, getting more in tuned and embedded in piano. I kind of slacked a lot. But they also didn't want me to, become a musician by any means.
Right.
They just wanted me to have that skill and enjoy it, having
Right.
And I know like a lot can argue like if you understand music theory and learn how to play harmoniously or read sheet music, that also can extend to being better at math in some way too. There's like some logic behind it, but I don't know if that really transferred for me because I struggled in math so much to the point where I did also take some supplemental math courses during the weekends.
You did?
I did. They just give you packets and packets of math exercises to do.
I know how it is.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll do that on top of my homework, but I didn't really enjoy it to be honest.
I didn't either.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure it helped in some way, but I didn't think it was a huge payoff. And then what else? I took Vietnamese language school.
You did a lot.
I did. It's really good to just be active and like socialize, like get to meet like a whole bunch of people. The only benefit payoff that I experienced was traveling to Vietnam with my family at some point, and I was able to read. And I realized that some of my peers who are Vietnamese American who didn't have the opportunity to take Vietnamese lessons, it's hard for them to understand or comprehend. So I guess that was a benefit.
Okay. It helped quite a bit.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I'm not like fluent in Vietnamese by any means, but I like learned a lot about my own culture.
Like basic things.
Basic things I can definitely read and comprehend or navigate in Vietnam if I'm not ever alone. And yeah, if I had the choice, I would have loved to take other language courses too, like French, Japanese, or Chinese. I know those are really difficult languages to learn, but I think learning when you're younger, you can absorb it way better.
Right.
And music lessons, yeah, I would say I would take piano more seriously too.
To your point, when you're a kid, you learn something, the speed of learning is just totally
Yeah,
different.
right.
So if you want to learn something, yeah, you want to learn when you're a kid.
Mhm.
But like you said, it's kind of really hard for a kid to get motivated.
Yeah,
So like you said, you didn't really like learning piano. So did I. I think I didn't like it because I had to repeat the same thing over and over and over until the point that I do not make mistakes.
mhm.
I was given a lot of homework. I had to practice a lot. I think I was 9 years old, 8
Yeah.
years old. It was too demanding to me
Mhm.
back then. But when I grew up, when I was in grad school, I was like 26 or 7. I wanted to learn piano, so I took some lessons. Unfortunately, it didn't work out because the piano instructor hit on me.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, yeah, I agree. Learning as a kid is definitely a benefit, not only career-wise, but also like brain developing wise.
Yeah, maybe it's a stretch, but I do think there are some transferable skills that you can obtain
Right.
within, like the act of memorizing
Yeah.
and being disciplined and practicing can apply to a lot of things.
Right.
You kind of set your own habit and goals,
Yeah,
learning how to
definitely.
play the piece right, but then also that can be applied to a lot of things too, right?
Mhm.
And then the act of performing in front of people,
That's a good
that
point.
was the scariest shit for me. Like I hated it.
Mhm.
And I remember specifically moments where I had piano recitals. I messed up so many times.
I didn't even get to the point.
Oh, I got forced to that point. I remember going to UW, so University of Washington, where it was held, and it was like all these amazing, like almost prodigy kids playing, and there was me. It was just like playing like the most basic song, and I couldn't even do it. And I remember at the end of it, I cried to my dad, like, "Dad, I messed up so much." And my dad's like, "It's fine, you did it." And it got me like participation rewards. I was like, that's fine. I think that was what made me not love piano so much because it was so scary. I knew that at some point I would have to perform, and I just hated the performance aspect of it. Eventually I grew out of it. Like I stopped taking lessons because I think by the time I hit middle school or high school, it got a little too busy. But interesting enough, whenever during my downtime, I would have the urge to just play something or learn a song or a piece that I would want to learn. So I actually took more time I had more patience to learn a piece versus when I was like forced to do it.
Another example of learning as a kid is I played soccer, I played baseball when I was a kid. And yeah, it helped me develop how to use my muscles and how to kind of run, teamwork, and competitiveness.
Your metabolism must have been like skyrocket high.
You know what? My metabolism is still high given my age. I think it was because I played a lot of sports when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I think I'm still getting benefits from it. And I was able to make a lot of friends.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess to sum up, I think it is important to take some extracurricular activities, especially when you're young. You're absorbing a lot of things that helps build a lot of character, a lot
Right.
of discipline,
Your confidence and
confidence.
even if it's not for a career, I think there are still a lot of benefits of learning like outside of school.
Even not as a kid, like start when you're young. You can be a perpetual learner
Right.
throughout your entire life.
Anyway, extracurricular activities such as like musical instrument, sport, or some social things as you grow up, I would strongly recommend if you are in situation that you can do. Yeah, so I think we can wrap up here. Thanks for watching.